following is an excerpt that's been condensed down from a recent live stream taken here on the channel. If you're interested in more content like this, consider subscribing and be sure to enable all notifications, as this will be the best way for you to be notified of the weekly live streams, the monthly song contests, and any other vids that come out. Enjoy. Go ahead and dive straight in because I'm sure there's going to be a lot that we're going to be doing on this. So where do I start? Well, I'll tell you where I always start. I do have a 15-step mixing process. If you'd like to know what that mixing process is, you can go to my website and get a hold of that download for free. You can apply that to your own mixes. It's going to help you to get through stuff faster, especially whenever you're tackling projects like this that's got 39 tracks. You're probably, if you're new to mixing, if you're new to producing or arranging, you're going to be saying to yourself, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming. Well, don't get overwhelmed. Just realize there are ways to mitigate all of the confusion, and we're going to go through some of that today. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my console view, which within Cakewalk by BandLab, this is my DAW of choice. It is free, by the way. If you don't have a DAW, I would definitely recommend you get Cakewalk by BandLab, not only because it's free, but because it's the most powerful free DAW on the planet. There are several here in the chat who would definitely agree with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and highlight all the tracks by holding Control and pressing A. And then I'm going to open up all of the Pro channels. Now within the Pro channel, you're going to see that I have all of these plugins. Now this would be sort of like inserts through the mixing board. And what you're looking at now, when I brought up the console view, that's literally looking like at a mixing board. It's just vertical instead of horizontal. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and just remove elements that I don't normally use. Now I don't normally use this compressor on every single track, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I love saturation, but I don't need it on every single track because I'm actually going to create a bus that I can then send that to them. I will leave the console emulation, however, on every track, and I will go ahead and just right out of the gate enable that because I love console emulation when it comes to Cakewalk by BandLab. It has awesome console emulation. And I usually tend to go with this S type here. The subtle type is what I call it. Or the simplified type. Oh, you didn't see it coming. Yeah, you did. Okay. You guys are too quick. All right. So we're going to go to the EQ section. We're going to turn all of the EQ sections on because we're going to be using EQ. And I love the built-in EQ in the Pro channel. Actually, I use it more than anything else. More than stock EQs that we have here within Cakewalk, and even sometimes more than some of my paid EQs. I just use this because it just simply works. Not to mention you have this fly out window where you can see things happening in real time and you can make your adjustments there. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. So all of these tracks now should be on the up and up, and it looks like, yes, they are. And I apologize if scrolling through there just caused you to have seizures because that was a lot of stuff happening right there. All right, now we'll close them all. That looks a little more neater. A little more neater. Yeah, I said that. A little more neater. Gotta love that Southern vernacular. All right, I'm going to go back through here and just... I've got a few of these already panned from the previous reaction video. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that panning so that we can do this in real time so you can see what I'm actually doing with these tracks. That looks good. That looks good. All right. Now let's go to our buses panel. Now this would be, yet again, like a mixing console has your main console area, your faders. All right. So I'm going to remove the metronome bus because I don't need that. Now, if you're not familiar with what a mixing console is and what buses are, essentially your mixing console is like your main faders that are attached to your tracks. Your console, or rather your bus section of this is sort of like where you can send those tracks to do things with. Like say, for instance, all of these tracks are being bussed right now to this master fader. So if I wanted to control the volume of all the tracks at once, I can do it with this one fader. And so essentially you create sends that will then send that to these buses, and then the buses will take it to the master. Now that I've given an explanation of what the buses are, in case you didn't know, I am going to delete these two buses here. It was just a preview bus for samples, and then a metronome bus, which I don't need because I'm not actually recording. I'll be mixing. And I'm going to go ahead and insert a drums bus. You probably know by now, if you've done even a little bit of mixing, that when you have like a bunch of plugins all over the place, it just bogs your computer down. So the way that you can get by that is by creating buses and sending multiple things to that bus that will sort of fit in that group. Say, for instance, the drums. So if all of the drums are going to get treated with a plugin anyway on every single kit piece, why not just send it all to one track and then just one instance of a plugin? All right, now we're going to get a reverb. For those of you that have watched these videos before, you're like, I know exactly where he's going. A reverb short, a reverb medium, a reverb long. And I think I'll just go ahead and change all of the colors of these as well to something that looks a little different. So I'll know when at first glance exactly what they are. All right, lastly, we're going to put in a saturation bus. I'm just going to call it 𝗬𝗐. Put the 𝗬𝗐 on. Let's go ahead and create one for vocals as well. Now I want to move this over here. There we go. So, all right, that looks about right. So now I'm going to highlight all of the buses and do the same thing that we just did a minute ago. Going to make sure that we don't have any plugins on here I'm not going to be using. That way I'm saving on some CPU. Okay, so now we got console emulation across the buses and console emulation across all of the channels. All right, I think we're pretty much prepped and ready now to begin the mixing session. So anyway, all of these tracks here are going to be routed now to the drums bus. Now, typically speaking, when I start a mix, I only start with the drums because I want to get a good balance of the backbone of the track, so to speak. And also it's going to allow me to start, like right off the bat, managing my levels. And when I talk about levels, I mean, I'm talking about, like, typically speaking, within a digital realm, you don't want to clip your master bus, which is this here. And that's ultimately what your consumer is going to hear. So you don't want to clip that. You want that to stay in a good conservative level. Likewise, so that whenever you send that off to a mastering engineer, they've got enough headroom to where they can do whatever they need to do to it to bring it up to industry standards without completely squashing the dynamics and ruining whatever you might have. Go ahead and take that off there. And I'm going to go ahead and remove myself off the screen for now so that we can get into the mixing. You guys don't want to see me anyway, so I'm out of here. All right, let's go ahead and just start. I'm going to play the track, and we're just going to start bringing up the drums here. Now, this doesn't have anything going on within the first, like, 8 bars. Okay, so let's go ahead, and we're going to start with a kick, bringing it up into the mix. Okay, so you can see here on my master fader, this is representative of what's happening. We're at -9 dBs right now, which is fine. Okay. Now I'm going to slowly bring up the, where's the snare at? Is it? No. Oh, here it is. So this is another element that needs to be moved to the drums. I think I'm going to put it right next to the kick. Oh yeah, classic. Okay, so immediately what I'm noticing is that kick is not very punchy. That's fine though. I'm not going to mess with any plugins or anything like that right now. The main thing that we're doing right now is we're just getting a good balance, a rough mix, just with the faders. We're not touching anything. So, okay, so this is definitely a percussion element. Need to move to the drums. Okay. A shaker, or in this case, a 𝗶𝗊, is one of those things that needs to be in there, but it needs to be just under the rest of the mix. Like, you need to almost not hear it. Okay, there's our claps. Good deal. And those toms came in just a little heavy. I'm going to bring them down just a bit. Nothing too major here. Okay. Start bringing up some other elements here. Okay, so that's part of the drums as well. Bring that over here. Okay, we got some cello here, or 𝗟𝗨 as it's called. Nice. Let me turn this up a little bit so y'all can hear this. There we go. I love that. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, nice. The answer to this is yes. Okay, all right. Okay. Still got good conservative levels. All right, you guys know what time it is. Time to bring that bass in. Can't listen to this and not get into it. So there was sort of a rough pass of the main instrumentation. There were some elements that I really didn't get a chance to listen to or adjust as I was going here, but that's fine. So now we have, for the most part, the drums bus is filled up with all of the elements that need to go to it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a bus for the strings. I could see strings being a greenish color. And then we'll move this back over here. I want them by the vocals. Kind of treat them the same almost. So the strings and the synths, I think I'm going to place pretty much on the same bus. And maybe even this Lyricon. So I think this here is actually a guitar. I need to find out. So what's this? JP? Yeah. Yeah, I think I remembered that from the last. I might be wrong on this, but. Oh, it's not. Okay, cool. So yeah, that will definitely fit in on the strings bus as well. All right, so we'll put all of them on the strings. We'll leave the Rhodes off of there. We'll put all of this here. There's a lot of elements in this that are classical, like classical instrumentation. It's kind of cool. Okay. So now all of our strings are bused to a strings bus. Because there's only 2 guitar tracks, I'm not really going to worry about creating a bus for the guitars. And then lastly, all of the vocals are going to go to the vocals bus. Okay, and I will be working on the vocals last. We're just going to kind of play this back, and I'm going to start making some adjustments as far as panning. I'll start with the panning next. There we go. Okay, so here's the cool part about using these buses. So when you use a bus, so now I can send all of these tracks to this one fader and control all of the strings, like say for instance, with this one fader. So therefore, if I have, say for instance, I want to make a volume automation, bring all the strings up at a certain point, I can do that with one single fader instead of trying to go through there and, adjust a million things at once and trying to get automation on 5 different tracks. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solo out all the strings. And I just want to get a good balance of these strings themselves. Okay. I'll do a little painting on these. I think they were meant to be. Nice. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so now it feels like, at least to me, I want to leave that low end element there in the center because it's starting to kind of lean to the left. So I want to make sure that I sort of evenly balance the stereo field here. So I want to find the low end here. That's what I want to do. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's this. That's weird. Like you don't even really hear that in the... Okay. There's that one. This one looks like it just comes in a few times as well. Ooh, I missed that. Yeah, I totally missed that. That's crazy. Okay, so this might just be a balancing thing with these 2 tracks here. Okay, so there's a low element. There we go. Okay, so here's another cool part. Now that we have all the strings bussed here, we can go ahead and add reverb to all of them at once, if we want to. We're not going to do that yet, though. We're still holding off here. So we've done some painting on the strings. We got the strings to a good balance, I feel. With all of the faders selected now, I'm just going to go ahead and bring them down just a tad bit, just to conserve some more headroom here. Okay, cool. Moving along rather quickly here. Like I said, this isn't going to be super duper professional mix. I'm not going to mix it 91 times like Bruce Swedien did. But I'm going to go ahead and put a high pass filter on. I'm going to bring it up to about 50 hertz across the board. That should clean up a lot of the low end, and then on elements where I feel like it might need it again. Yeah, I'm almost positive that if I do this while this is playing, you're not going to really notice a tremendous difference in the low end. Let me go ahead and bring this down to 20, and then I'll bump it up as it's playing. Right there's about the sweet spot. Okay. Go ahead and adjust this kick to get it to poke through a little better. toms up a little more. Okay, so because I've got the bus for the strings, I can adjust the EQ on the strings right from this one bus. So I'm going to do that. Because I know it's just going to sound amazing. Awesome. Okay. Work on this bass next. There we go. Nice. Usually around 72 hertz. So if I remember correctly, the original mix was very bass heavy. It had a lot of drum and bass in it, which is why I think it translated so well to dance music. So now let's go ahead and work on these guitars. That bass is awesome now. There we go. much better. Throw a little classic clipper on here. So, okay, I'm going to use this classic clipper as my distortion, or my saturation in this instance. Create my first couple of sends here. I'm going to send these guitars to the saturation bus. Make sure they're panned accordingly. And then I'm going to highlight just the two guitars. And we'll just blend it in as it's playing. Let me find a good section of these guitars where they're playing quite a bit. There we go. And let's go for it. Let me get my mug out of the way. And I brought myself back in. Okay, here we go. There we go. Back it off a little. Nice. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so now on the drums bus, I'm going to do a little bit of this here. Put a high pass on there. Immediately go to 400 hertz and dip it out. It's usually where the mud on the drums resides. If it's wrong, I'll fix it here in a minute. And then I'm going to kind of go from there. Bit of high end. Awesome. Now I need to start inputting some reverb. I want to start playing with some reverb. I'm going to go with the little plate for the Reverb Short by Soundtoys, which is an excellent plugin, by the way. So now if we go to the Home Studio Simplified website, I'm going to use my handy dandy Reverb Calculator, which Bruce Swedien used to use. Obviously not mine, but he used a calculator, regular calculator. And type in 117, go to a quarter note. That's going to be, at 117, a quarter note will have a duration of 512.82. All right, so 513 basically. So 513 divided by 2, roughly 256 and a half. So we'll say just actually about right there is probably about right. So, okay. And now for this one, go to our stereo room, make sure this is set to completely wet. And we want this one to be 513 or close to it. Okay. And I'm going to set this front and rear position. I'm going to set it to the middle. Take my gain down there. Take my gain down here. All right, that should be good. Okay, and lastly, we're going to insert another instance the stereo room plugin. And this one will be 513 times 2. 1 second and 26 seconds. 26 milliseconds. All right, so about right there. All right, so now I have a short, medium, and a long reverb. And let's go ahead and start blending those in. We're going to start with the strings. That's going to be the easiest place to actually hear what these are doing and if they're going to be helping or not. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Ooh, that sounded nice. Okay, so now I can use that reverb. Ooh, that had a nice little drop off there, that tail did. Listen. Nice. Oh, there it was. Is this it? I think it's this track. Yep. That don't need to be in the drums. Okay. Okay, so already it's starting to get that 80s sound to it now. Just what I was going for with those reverbs. So I'm going to push them a little harder than I would normally just because 80s was intrinsically reverby. Still got some good conservative levels here. Nice. All right, now I'm going to go back to those guitars again. Where are the red tracks? Boom, there they are. See what? This is why it's good to color code things. I never would have found those. And I'm going to start adding some reverb on these bad boys. See how that reverb just starts to gel everything together? much on the long reverb, I believe. Tape on those bad boys. Okay. I'm going to throw some tape in on them. Oh, that one moved, but that one didn't. That was weird. Low end is amazing. Is this not crazy that we're listening to? Okay, so we've come a long way, baby. We're already making some awesome progress. Mob the Gamer says he feels like the drums are a little bit bright. I did put a tad bit of brightness on them because I put tape saturation on there. But I think the brightness that I was hearing after you said that was the claps. So I brought the claps down a little bit and it seemed like it made it better. By all means, yet we are not yet done, and it may just be a personal preference thing or your listening environment, but they sound pretty spot on to me. Man, I'm loving the low end on this bass, especially when it gets into that boom, 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 boom. Man, it sounded awesome. I'm going to bring up that just a tad bit more. And then we'll start working on these vocals. And let's just go ahead and bring them up to something -6, just to start with. Let's see what we can do here. We got to start from the beginning. Let's see here. Okay, here we go.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she crossed the scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes that dreamed of being the one who would dance on the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love.
Right.
Be careful
Here we go.
what you do. Could the lie become the truth? Billie Jean's not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. For 40 days and showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, babe. People always told me, be careful what you do.
Nice.
Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, 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 no. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No.
Wow. I really didn't have to do much to those vocals at all. Big surprise, right?
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one.
Awesome. That's what I wanted to hear.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said, I am the one who would dance
I want to bring
on
up
the
some of
floor
that breathiness.
and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she crossed the scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes to dream of being the one who would dance on the floor and around.
Much better. Nice.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. And be careful what you do. Cause the lie becomes the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. For 40 days and for 40 nights I was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and the lands. Go and dance on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Don't think twice. She told my baby we danced to 3. Then she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, babe. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, 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 no. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No.
Nice. I love that he was doing that with his voice. Evidently, Michael Jackson was an excellent beatboxer, and that's actually how we come up with most of his drum lines and bass lines and everything like that. He kind of just formulated that while he was beatboxing. So I learned that little tidbit of information. Thought that was pretty cool. So whenever he's doing that, that's just natural. That's just something he does. If you haven't noticed by now, he does something that no one else does all the time. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of medium, a little bit of long reverb real quickly here. Now we're still not done balancing these background vocals. Let's see here.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one.
There's the sound.
Who would dance on the floor in the round. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she crossed the scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes that dreamed of being the one who would dance on the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love and be careful what you do. Cause the lie becomes the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. Ooh, she says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. For 40 days and for 40 nights I was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. Go dance on the floor in the round. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Do think twice. She told my baby we danced to 3. Then she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, babe. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, 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 no. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No, no, no. Ooh, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No, 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 babe. My son. Ooh, says I am. You know what you
Awesome. I'm going to leave the lead vocals all by themselves, just send them straight to the master. And then the rest of these vocals, the background vocals, I'll treat all together on the vocals bus here. That should actually allow me to... So I've already done some EQ on all of them. I'm going to do another instance of the leveler. Because they're background vocals, I want to make sure that they are consistent. And then I also have already dipped out a little bit of the 3,000, roughly around 3,000 kilohertz, which is a good place, good starting point for background vocals. Put a de-esser on these and see where we're at with that now.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said, I am the one.
A little bit much, but that's all
Who
right.
would dance on the floor and around.
Now I can control them all with one fader, so we're good.
She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes that dreamed of being the one who would dance on the floor and around.
Beautiful. I like that.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love and be careful what you do. Cause the lie becomes the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. Ooh. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. Oh, no. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I was
liking
on
it.
her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. Go dance on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Do think twice. She told my baby dance to 3. And she looked at me and showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, babe. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no, no.
Ooh, yeah. Doubler on there.
The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No.
Beautiful.
The Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is. Don't call me Billie Jean. It's not about to sing. You know you ain't. You know you can't. The Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is.
I'm going to do a little bit more vocal de-essing. And I think other than that,
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said I am
so
the
transparent.
one
This plugin is so transparent.
who would dance.
It's telling you exactly right here what it's taken out.
Heavy head turned with the eyes that dreamed of being the one who would dance on the floor and around.
Folks, this sounds amazing already.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. And be careful what you do. Cause the lie becomes the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. Go dance on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Do things twice. She told my baby we danced to 3. Then she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go dance on the floor in the round, babe. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son.
There it is, folks.
No. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No.
Did you see how much the mud got cleared up as soon as I, there wasn't a lot of it because I'd already taken care of it with the drummer and the 𝗏𝗏, but a lot of that extra central mud that you really couldn't hear was cleaned up just by simply EQing the reverb sends. So I'll show you before and after. Check this.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one.
Subtle, but it's there.
On the floor and around. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean, and she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes to dream of being the one who would dance on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love, and be careful what you do. Cause the lie becomes the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, no. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. Go dance on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Do think twice. She told my baby we danced to 3. Then she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, babe. Ooh. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, 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 no. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No,
Nice.
no. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No.
awesome. Thank you all so very much for being here today, and hopefully you learned something. But if you did learn something about this, go ahead and leave that in the comment section of the video and let me know, like, what's the main key point that you learned from today, and what was your key takeaway? And if there's something that you would like for me to cover that maybe I didn't cover, leave that in the comment section as well. Oh, and if you didn't know by now, I keep forgetting to mention this. I do have a podcast. I'm on episode 61 now, I believe. I'm up there. It's up there. We got tons of episodes for you to go back in the backlog and listen to and binge on. If you are a frequent listener to the podcast, which is Home Studio Simplified on iTunes, or you can also go to the website, 𝗏𝗏studio_simplified.com. There's a podcast tab there. You can listen there. But if you would be so kind as to leave a review for that in iTunes, I would greatly appreciate it. That would be really awesome of you. I'd be eternally grateful. All right, so until next time, guys, remember, we can dream alone, we can create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. God bless each and every one of you. I love you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay awesome. Bye-bye.